There's two different views: session view right here, where you can put clips in, different audio clips, or arrangement view. By clicking that button, you can go into arrangement view. So you can click right off the desktop and import, AIF, WAV, MP3, compressed versions right off the desktop is pretty cool. The way that Ableton's interface interacts with, I'm working on a Mac, so I'm going to just drop this into arrangement view, and you can see down here that it is importing, analyzing that file. It brought it in and it warped it. I want to deselect that by hitting this warp button. I don't want that warped. One thing is I can actually work with this audio file in this lower window, but I'm going to be working with it in this upper window. This is the stuff that I want to kind of explain to you guys. So one nice feature is you can just click and drag right off the desktop into Live. WAV files, MP3 files, long files. You can do an hour audio file, 2-hour audio file. That's one of the nice things about Ableton is you can do really long files in Ableton. Okay, now down here on this window, you can see I've got a bracket here that I can shrink this window down or make it bigger. You can also go on this volume meter area and do the same thing. So I want to point that out. Up here, you can see that this red line indicates your audio, and this audio ends right here where it gets gray. This gray area is telling me that there's no more audio there. So if I could click wherever I want on that red line to take me to that area of audio, which is really fast, right here I'm right at the end, or right here I'm right at the beginning. It's really fast and easy. Okay, now you can notice we got a little black box here. By going to the edge of that box, you can see a bracket popped up. I can zoom in or out and in. I can do that on both sides of this box. It's expandable both sides. So, or you can just click, or you can grab the box and actually move it throughout the timeline, wherever you want to go. Now, this light gray area is your speaker area. You can play back audio. Wherever you want to play your audio back, you just put your speaker right there and click. Above that, you can see it turns into a magnifying glass. From there all the way up to my line is the area where I can actually use my mouse to zoom in. So I will click, pull down to zoom in, up to zoom back out, right or left. So a lot of control right there. You want to get into some fine chopping, you can really, you got a lot of control right there, right and left, in and out. Really quick, really easy, to work in right there. You also have this little box right here, which has brackets on it. So you can highlight different areas with this editing tool. If I have that area highlighted, I can hit delete, and it'll delete it. So I don't want to delete that. I'm going to hit Command Z, which is the undo tool. I'm just going to set that over there because I really don't use that box that much. Another thing to note is you have your grids right up here, 30 seconds, 16ths, eighths, quarters, halves, bars. That will set the grid up for you on however you select to to start chopping. Now, in this audio area, you can see this orange line that pops up. That is your selection line, where you're going to be making cuts at. So I can go up here to the edit, and it's if I hit split right here, or Command E, the keyboard shortcut, you can see that it just split that. So, that's how you do splits is Command E. If I want to delete that, boom, delete. I don't want to do that, Command Z. You can also click and drag and, Command E to make a split. So, or if I want to consolidate those or join them, I can click that one, and then I can hit Shift and click on other ones to join those. And if I come up here, consolidate or Command J for join, you can see it actually rejoined those. So these are some of the keyboard shortcuts on how to navigate inside of Ableton when you're making chops. So let's go ahead and split that, and we're going to split one more here. And I want to start to export these. So what I want to do is, now you see that I actually joined those. My warp marker's back on down here. I want to deselect that. I don't want nothing warped. So I just want to make sure that all these warp markers are off, which they are now. So my first sample here, I'm just going to go up here and go to Export Audio under the File. And I like to set mine up where I have Create Analysis File off. I don't like exporting these samples into different folders on my computer, so I always turn that off. You can only export in WAV or AIF. You can set your sample rate, bit depth, and all that. But the one thing you want to take note of is the time range down here. It tells you what time range it's exporting. And right here it's going from 1.1 to 2.4, which if I look up here, that's right. You know, it's exporting before 3, so it's telling me that it's exporting this selected one. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to name this 1 and send it to the desktop. And then boom, you can see right down here it just exported it. If I want to export the second one, all I do is click on it and highlight it. Same thing. Export audio. It's telling me 2.4 to 4.2, which is right. 2.4 to 4.2. Okay. Hit 2. Save it to the desktop. There's my second one. Same thing. I'm going to do the third one. Export audio. Tell me the time range, which is right. 4.2, 5.3. Number 3. Save it to the desktop. So you can see how quick and easy it is to actually get a file into Live, to make your areas selections to cut, and to export. It's just highlighting that sucker and exporting it. And you know, that's pretty basic. Let's say if you've got a drum loop in here, and this one is your snares. You can take that snare and just, what I did is I'm clicking that area, I'm dragging it over this little button down into this one and back into its own clip. Now, it's not an actual snare, but just say, for instance, it was. That's my snare. I could have my maybe some cymbals right here. I can click and drag over and put it into its own clip. So now I got snares and cymbals separated. And now over here you might have a kick, you know, and you drag that into its own clip. Then you can actually, I can only play one of these back at a time. And you can see right down here it's playing back the first one, the second one, the third one. So if I wanted to play these back all at the same time or have control like that, I can insert a couple more audio tracks and put them in their own audio track. So I can play them all three, my kick, my snare, and my cymbal, you know. So you got a lot of control, you know, over what you could do in Live. So it's a powerful program. It's really easy to work in and navigate once you understand the interface. I hope this helps you and inspires you to maybe start using Live for your audio, at least, you know, chopping in Live and exporting.